So, what could I do first on number 11?
Take out the x.
More specifically, x squared. There you go. So if I take out an x squared, that leaves me with x squared plus 10x plus 21 equals 0. Now what?
Factor.
Factor what?
The x squared plus 10x.
And that means I need factors of 21 that add or subtract to be 10. What are the factors of 21 that add or subtract to be 10?
3 and 7.
7 and 3. What kind of signs? Positive. There you go. So now I can split all three of them. So I have x squared equals 0, x plus 7 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0. So -3, -7, and if I square root, what's the square root of 0? 0. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to start reviewing graphing pretty soon. So what is happening at x equals 0? What kind of shape is happening there? Parabola. Very good. What's happening at -7?
Straight line.
Straight line, because there's a 1. What's happening at -3? A straight line, because there's a 1 right there, okay? What kind of shape does it make all together? A W. Very good. A W. Y'all okay? All right. So let's do this. We're going to do this one tomorrow, which is, what's tomorrow? Thursday? And if we have enough time, then we will do our ACT review, because remember, we haven't gone over 6 through 10. So make sure that you look at those. If we have enough time, we'll do it Thursday or Friday. If not, we'll do it on Monday, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, was Jacob leaving in first period this morning?
He was. He's finishing up a problem real quick, and I have him a pass to go to second period.
Okay, good, thank you.
I marked you present. Okay, so last call for homework. Last call for homework. If you haven't turned it in already, last call. You should not, please, don't let me see you working on your homework while we're going over stuff for class, okay? All right, let's grab page 15 is what we're on right now. It's the last section. We'll review tomorrow. And then we'll have our test on Friday. Remember that we're out on Monday, okay? So if you decide that you want to come to me and say, hey, Miss Blackman, I'm not ready for this test on Friday, you're going to have to wait until Tuesday, okay? Remember, you can't take your test until you have your checkpoint as a 100, until you have taken your quiz, then you can take your test, okay? So if you still haven't taken your quiz, which is a couple of people, I think there's about 5 of you that still haven't taken your quiz, you're going to have to take that first before you can take your test, okay? Y'all ready? Ready? Hello? Yes. Okay. That's y'all are dead today. No, nobody's talking. Okay, so let's go over this, shall we? Here we go. We'll see where we're at. We're down here at the bottom 2. We got bottom 2 down here. Let me zoom this in so you can see it. Ready? Alright, what is the square root of 36?
6.
It is 6. And look at there, they already were nice and gave you the plus and minus by Megas. Do you have your pass? Yeah. Alright, so then how do you take the square root of a letter?
You cut it in half.
You cut it in half. We did this in bell ringers, but it was stuff we did last week. Okay, so what's half of 10? 5. By the way, why did we cut it in half? Because what kind of root is this? Square, and square means 2, right? That makes a big deal for when we get to the other ones. Make sure you're with us over here. Okay, so what about this one? They went ahead and gave you a negative, right? So do I need to put a plus and minus in front? No, it's just a negative. And look at all these parentheses around this. You see it? Alright, so this is a square root. Square means 2. So half of 16 is 8. Y'all okay? What? Oh. Okay.
Just go, Miss Black.
Just go?
Just go.
Okay. Alright, here we go. Let's go to page 16 on the next page. You ready? Alright, this is where it starts getting a little tricky. That was just a review. Let's go through and make these real specific, okay? Okay, now here is what you might want to make sure you write down, okay? This is a huge note somewhere you might want to write down. If you have an even exponent, and it gives you an odd exponent, and I'm going to explain what this means, okay? If you have an even exponent and it gives you an odd exponent, when you finish, you have to put absolute values. What in the world does that mean, okay? So let's look at this one right here since we've already got this one, okay? So do you see how I have an exponent of 4 right here? I have an even exponent. Okay, so what's the square root of 16 first of all? I'm not the square root, I'm sorry, the 4th root of 16. So do you have your calculators? Do you have your calculators? I'll show you. Some people don't know how to do it. So yeah, you just square root it and square root again. So if you don't know how to do this one, let me show you. Grab your graphing calculators. Alright, don't do this yet. Just watch. Don't do this yet. Just watch. You see the green alpha button? Right below it is a math button. Don't do this yet. Just watch. So when you hit it, you see a whole bunch of square roots pop up, right? There's a cube root and there's an x root, right? This means that you can put whatever root that you want to. What is our root? 4. Okay, so here's the deal. You have to tell it what root first. You have to hit 4. So go ahead and hit 4 in your calculator. Then you hit math. And I want to go down to number 5. You can either scroll to number 5 and hit enter, or you can simply just hit number 5. And if you have an updated calculator, do you see how it pops that 4 up? If you don't have an updated calculator, it did a 4 and then it had a square root with a little x right there. Okay? And then what number are we typing in? 16. And you get 2, right? We're going to do plenty more, so don't worry. We're going to go through some calculators. Alright, so here we go. What's the 4th root of 16? 2. Now, what we have to do is we have to take 12, which is our exponent, and divide it by 4, right? Because that's what they give me. What is that?
3.
Ooh, look at what I did. I went from an even exponent, and it gave me an odd exponent, right? So what do I have to use? Absolute value. So absolute value of x minus 3.
Not the whole thing?
Not the 2, because the 2 was a number. Your expression. Just your expression. Just the expressions. Maybe we should put 4. Yes. So what's my new expressions? What's my new exponent? 3. Maybe we can draw an arrow right here. 3. That's your answer. Not hard, guys, but a little tricky if you're not paying attention, right? So let's look at number 2a. Let's look at the other one. Alright, this is just a square root, right? So you know the square root of 36. What's that? Bless you. What's the square root of 36? Plus and minus 6. Anytime you take the square root, you got to put that plus and minus, okay? Unless we're doing like real life stuff where we can't have negatives, right? That's different. If we're doing like theoretical stuff here. Alright, so here we go. What is my exponent? It's a square root, right? It's the only time it's not understood to be 1. So this is a 2. I have an even exponent, right? And so I have 6 divided by 2. How much is that? Ooh, that's odd. It gave me an odd exponent, so I have to use absolute values.
So this doesn't apply to larger problems then?
That we were just reviewing right there. Here we're being very, very, very specific for stuff that's coming. I mean, technically, you're not really wrong all the time. Most of the time, if you just say plus and minus 6 y to the 3rd. But what happens if this would have been negative? You know, you never know what your answer could be. And it only applies when it's odd. Because if it's odd, like -2, for example. -2 to the third power. See how it still gives you a negative? That's why it only applies to the odd powers. Because if you do an even power, no matter what even power you do, it'll always be positive. That's why you don't have to use absolute values for the even ones.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, so the 36y, like, why didn't you put the 16?
Because that's why I put the plus and minus. I already did it right here. Okay? It's only for the expressions. No, I put that there so you could see where we're getting the 2 from. You don't have to do it, though. All right, let's look at number 1. You ready? All right, they even give you the plus and minus. What's the square root of 100? So it's plus and minus 10. And I'm having even exponent, so I have y to what power? 4. Looky right there. See how it gave me an even exponent again? Look, even's always going to be positive no matter what you do. You don't have to have absolute values because it's already automatically going to be positive. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, here we go. Let's go to number 2. It's already got the negative here. What's the square root of 49? 7. And half of 8 is 4. That's even, right? He's good. What's half of 12? That's even. I'm good. As long as it's even, you're okay. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, let's go this one real quick. All right, what's 8 divided by 2? 4. Do I have to have absolute values? No, but you got to have parentheses, though. Oh. Yep. Sorry, got to squeeze in. You caught me. All right, let's see. What about this one? Is that a 4? Looks like a 4 right there. Let's write it in kind of bigger so y'all can read it. I had to shrink it down, so. All right, here we go. Let's use that calculator and let's do some practice. We're going to type in 4. Then we're going to go to math. Hit 4. Then go to math. Then you go down to number 5, or you just hit 5. And then you type in 16. And you should get 2 as your answer. Okay, so let's see. We get 2. I didn't square root, right? If you don't square root it, you don't have to put plus and minus. It's only squares. All right, so G to the 6. Yes, ma'am.
What's the letter after G?
H. They normally go in alphabetical order. All right, so G to what new power?
4.
Yep. How'd you get that? 16 divided by 4, right? 8, and that's even, right? I'm good? So H to what power?
6.
Is that even? I'm good.
Do you have the plus and minus?
Not with a 4th root, only with a square root. Ooh, what about number 5? What's the square root of -16? Close? Plus and minus 4i. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, and then what's the square root of y to the 4th? And 2 is even, so I don't have to worry about absolute values. 2 is even. All right. Let's see. That is a 6 as an exponent. I mean, as a root right there. So if you want to fix that. All right, use your calculator. Here we go. You hit 6. Then you hit math. You go down to the x root, which is number 5, and then you type in 64. What'd you get? 2. All right, let's see. Then this expression right here, right? What's 18 divided by 6? 3. Ooh, that's odd. So if I go from an even to an odd, I have to use absolute values. 2y plus 1 to the 3rd. Are y'all okay? Okay. It's really not hard, right? It's just a little tricky. You just got to be, the only thing is you have to pay attention and slow down. Okay, use a calculator to approximate each value to how many decimals? 3. The first 2 are not a big deal. The second 2, that is a 5. And that is a 4, okay? So that's where you can use your calculator. So try those real quick.
Miss Blackman.
Yes, ma'am?
Hey, sorry to bother you. What about Hunter Cordis this morning, first period? Was he there?
No, ma'am, he was not.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Brinkley, right here. Make sure you make this 5 a 6, because that should round up.
Oh, yeah.
The number behind it should round up. There you go. All right, now watch the answer that Sydney put up for 9, okay? Make sure you have the same answer. Because you have to be careful. This is not a square root. This is a 5th root. So watch your answer on 5. You don't get an I on this one. This is not multiplying 2 things. This is multiplying 5 things. You can still get a negative if you multiply 5 things. There you go. We all okay on those? Mm-hmm. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to work on that next page. We'll see, this is page, what, 16? So make sure you... Is it 903?
Yeah, because this is 7 after.
Yep. 903. Just change that 2 to a 3, Leonella. There you go. Thank you, guys. All right, so that's page 16. Make sure you got it labeled. All we're going to do for the next 20 minutes is we're going to work on page 17. Right, don't start that stuff now. Whew. Don't start yawning. We'll all be yawning. Okay. All right, I'm going to put my answer key up here. Hopefully it won't put too much of a glare. And then y'all can check your answers, okay?
Are you doing this whole page on that line?
Ooh. Yes, and I'm just going to come around and help whoever needs help. Can y'all see that, or is that too? Let me take it out. Let me take it out of this plastic. Maybe you just be able to see it better.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if there's 2 variables and one's odd and one's not, you just do the one that is odd?
Did you start with an even exponent?
It was 6 and I just...
Then just the one that went to
Wait.
odd.
No, I did it wrong.
You should. On which one? Number 236. Yeah.